Good morning, Rams, and welcome back to this week's KRAM.
COVID-19 has affected many people over the past year, especially healthcare workers.
The hospital and workplace for these workers has changed drastically.
They choose to help keep everyone safe by following social distancing guidelines and also getting vaccinated.
Healthcare workers have been working hard over the past year. COVID-19 has caused many significant changes for hospital employees. Not only must the workers keep every patient safe, they also must protect themselves and help the community. Many essential medical workers spoke to us about the effects that COVID has on day-to-day operations.
Everybody has to wear a mask and have their temperature taken coming into the hospital.
Not nearly as many people are there, and the ones that are really sick.
My workplace, mostly the way that we interact with patients has changed. So if a patient comes in showing any symptoms of COVID, we have to meet them at their car and make it a curbside visit rather than have them come inside.
Because many of the medical employees come into close contact with the virus, their personal lives have been affected. To protect loved ones, these essential workers have completely changed the way they interact with other people.
My mom is a respiratory therapist. When she comes home, she's super exhausted. She's got mask lines all over her face, and before she can get in the house, she has to take off her clothes and change, and then put them in the washing machine immediately.
But it's also affected me because I'm very, very paranoid about bringing it home. Because of that, or as a family, we've been very, very careful. I haven't visited my elderly parents, I should say. They live outside of Parker.
While the pandemic is changing the industry, there has been many negative effects that the virus has caused.
On the healthcare industry, I think a lot of patients who stayed at home because they were really afraid to come to the hospital. They were afraid to come to the emergency room. So when they were coming to the emergency room, they were much sicker.
When patients are not going to see their doctor on a regular basis, then we're not seeing the prescriptions, then we're not seeing them. So the effect back to us in terms from a business and a sales perspective, we're not filling nearly as many prescriptions as we did, say, a year ago.
To fight this virus, we must all work together. We had medical personnel tell us what we can all do individually to protect ourselves, our communities, and each other from the disease.
We're dependent, if we're going to get control of this virus, we are dependent on a number of people getting it. We need to have people get the vaccine. Otherwise, we will never get out of not wearing masks and getting out of this pandemic.
Herd immunity. So that's approximately about 70% of the population to receive the vaccine. Right now, it looks like the demand is that high in that many people want the vaccine so they can get back to normalcy in their lives.
So it's definitely super important that you socially distance and wear your masks when you need to.
Wearing a mask and hand washing and staying 6 feet away from people and not gathering in large groups and things like that.
I do silly things like wear gloves when I fill up my truck with gas.
Please do your part to lower the spread. Wear a mask and social distance. This has been Jackson Champagne reporting for KRAM. Stay safe, Rams, and thank you, essential workers.
To keep everyone safe in hospitals and in public, make sure to wash your hands, wear a mask, and practice social distancing.
The diploma program was originally restricted to having all 6 groups and extra activities for IB students only.
Now, they're opening up several classes to students not interested in the entire program.
2 weeks ago, the IB program at Rampart announced that several of the IB classes that were only available to IB students previously will now be available to all students who want to take them as what are called certificate courses. Classes like IB Theater, IB Film, IB Physics, IB Business Management, IB Psychology, IB Visual Art, and several IB language courses will be offered on a wider basis. While you would still need to take these classes as a junior and senior, you do not have to be an IB to take them.
Well, actually, this was a collective decision between all the DP faculty and the administration of Rampart. As you know, the diploma program has been a program where it's been sort of an all or none kind of thing for many, many years. So this year, what we want to do is we want to allow students who are not in the full IB program or the DP program to be able to access some classes as course candidates. For students who want a sort of a deeper exploration into these subjects, we highly encourage them to take those classes.
Since this is a big change in the way things have been done, it opens up opportunities for more students to experience some of these unique courses.
When I was a sophomore, I really wasn't super interested in IB DP. The biggest pull for me was the fact that I would get to take a DP drama class, which I thought would be really, really fun. I ultimately ended up not doing DP anyway. Now that it is open, if I was not a senior, I would really want to be able to do that next year.
Our current IB students know things are changing and shared their opinion on the classes opening up to all students.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, the DP program is seen as, from the student body, as like this monster of a program, but it's really not. It's a whole different outlook on certain aspects of like the world and different things. Like my DP English class is different it's totally different from a regular English class. And I think it's just a great way to get students to see that different outlook and encourage students to do DP in the future.
I think it's a great addition to the DP program. I think it'll be easier for like the upcoming juniors for next year and like the seniors, and it'll be really helpful for them to do better in the DP program, but not have to do it like as a whole, like be able to choose which ones they want to do. So I think that's really great for them.
It'll change the dynamic a little bit, I think, because like, I don't know, I feel like there's a certain sense of community with the IB, but like it'll be cool to have other people in that as well.
As you register for next year, keep in mind that with these changes in IB classes, you have more options than ever. These certificate classes will help expand the educational experience that Rampart has to offer. This has been Andrew Ring, reporting for Kram.
You can check with your counselor to enroll in IB classes for next year.
If you like sports or broadcast journalism, there are a few classes you need to take next year.
Rampart has the perfect class for you. Both sports broadcasting and electronic media, nicknamed KRAM, are looking for students to join their team.
Electronic media and sports broadcasting are two film classes that offer a service to the school. They are responsible for bringing you the school news and live sports broadcasts. The students let us know what they do in these classes.
In KRAM, we make segments that go out every week, and everyone has a segment assigned to them, and then we go out and we'll get footage for that, and we'll get interviews, and then we'll put it all together, and then once a week on Wednesday, then the KRAM will come out for the Rampart community to watch.
In KRAM, I just organize and make sure that the pieces get done. I talk with my group and tell them, you know, see what they want to do and like try to organize it in the best way that everyone can get something done, but at the same time, they can enjoy what they're doing.
I always knew that I liked movies and how videos were made. And so KRAM just let me kind of experience that on my own.
So in sports broadcasting, we basically like commentate on all of the sports games at Rampart. And then we also interview players to learn more about what they do.
It's just not like other classes. I mean, there's no other class where you're going to get to use our really professional level equipment, professional level software, and really be a storyteller like you would in KRAM, which is pretty cool. And then sports broadcasting provides another vital function.
Both KRAM and sports broadcasting students recommend the class that they are in.
I would recommend it to people, like especially people who want to get like more involved in the Rampart community and people who enjoy, say, journalism or anything to do with cameras. I think it's a really good class.
I'd highly recommend it. It's a little time intensive, but the payoff is huge and it feels great to get something done.
If you like ESPN or like news shows, if you wanted to be that person in front of the camera, it's both KRAM and sports broadcasting are a great way to like introduce yourself to those.
I would definitely recommend it. I think it's a really like unique class, and it gives you good opportunities for like a class that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else.
KRAM and sports broadcasting, I think, provide two very vital functions in the school, especially now when we're all so separated because of the pandemic. And I think KRAM brings us together. It is our weekly newscast. It's produced by students, for students. They pick the subjects, they do the interviews, they get the cover footage.
If you want to learn how to edit and use a camera, or just like sports, you should consider signing up for one of these classes. This is Owen Reed, reporting for KRAM.
Talk to your counselor about getting registered for electronic media or sports broadcasting for next year.
That's all for this week's KRAM.
Make sure to stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you next week, Rams.
For broadcast journalism. Oh, that's one word? Okay, 1 second.
Wash your hands, and we'll see you next week, Rams.